How's it going, folks? So, I wanted to discuss why safe storage laws are indeed a bad idea. Now, gun controllers will hear the opposition to safe storage laws and then falsely claim that you're against people storing their firearms safely when not in use. And of course, they're intentionally being dishonest with this one, you know, because if they were to actually be honest with this one, this would mean they don't get what they want and they don't like not getting what they want. So, yes, if you do have firearms, the ones that are not in use do need to be stored in a manner to which unauthorized users are not able to get a hold of them. You see, I have a bunch of safes myself. I have a bunch of firearms. Firearms like this SKS, I solely have for my library. They're a collector's item. It stays when not in use, unloaded, and properly secured. Now, I say unloaded, and most of the people listening right now would say, well, obviously, why wouldn't you? And unlike the gun controllers, I will be honest, I do actually know somebody who thought it was a good idea to store one of their guns loaded in one of my safes. They didn't like it when I found it loaded, and then I unloaded it. And then I told them, you're not storing any loaded firearms in my safe, period. While they're in my safes, they're to be unloaded. That's the purpose of having the safe and storing them. If you need a firearm loaded for personal protection, it should be on your persons. And yes, people like this exist, but they are the exception. They are not the rule. Another example, shoot, I have this when I want to shoot some really cheap ammo for fun. Yes, this is a real HK. This is not a GSG 5. You know, yes, this is an actual HK. So, but yes, I shoot this whenever I want to shoot cheap ammo. That's the only purpose of it, but while it's not in use, it's properly secured. It is the wise and prudent thing to do. Now, when it comes to personal protection firearms, I have a number of AR-15s. Some people only have one, some people have many. Um, I have the luxury of choosing which AR-15 I want to use for personal protection on which particular day. Well, the one I'm using for personal protection, that does remain loaded. It remains outside of any sort of safe. It is not around any point of entry. And the reason why I say this is unfortunately, I know or have known more than one person who's actually put firearms they intended to use for personal protection loaded by points of entry. And unfortunately, one of said people actually used to be a police officer. You know, that is a really bad idea. So, yes, any long gun you have for home defense, it does need to be ready to go because if you actually have to use it in that situation, time is of the essence. However, what you don't want to do is leave it by a point of entry. Now, again, this is not the majority of firearm owners. It's not even a significant minority. This is the exception to the rule. However, there are dumbasses that still exist. And unlike the gun controllers, those of us on the Pro 2A side tend to be a little bit more truthful. So, yes, I know this is obvious, but those who have firearms for personal protection, it is not wise to leave them by a point of entry, be it a window or a door. So, moving on past that, the very first reason why safe storage laws are a very bad idea is due to the fact that no matter what safe storage law you have on the books, those goalposts are going to be ever shifting with the gun controllers. And unfortunately, with the enforcement authorities, they're going to take any vagueness in the law and apply it to people they don't like and interpret it differently for the people they do like. And the second they get a particular standard, that standard is no longer going to be good anymore. And if you didn't already know this, you haven't been paying attention to the gun controllers. You don't know the gun controllers too well. So you have the ever shifting goalposts. If not initially, eventually, these safe storage laws are going to render your personal protection firearms useless. Because pretty soon, if they don't get it initially, the law is eventually going to read, well, self defense, unless you're actively engaging somebody who's attacking you, is no longer a valid use, meaning you cannot have a personal protection firearm on yourself loaded until the threat is imminent. By then, it's too late. And of course, the gun controllers are never going to take responsibility for that. They're never going to take responsibility for the gun owner who died because a home invader broke in and the home invader got to the gun owner before they can get the safe open, load their gun, and deal with the home invader. So there you have it. Then top that off, how are they going to enforce this on a day-to-day basis? Are they going to expect mandatory searches of every gun owner's home to make sure that every gun that gun owner has is stored properly in that safe? They're going to go inspect the safe. It's going to require more. This is going to be eventually something where they come out and say something along the lines of, well, this is why we need registration. You don't believe me, at some point it will turn to that because they'll have these mandatory inspections. The police will inspect the safe, see that firearms are in the safe, and then it's eventually going to happen that one gun owner had a number of firearms, all except for one were stored in the safe, and that one they had for personal protection. They used it to shoot a home intruder. They then go and prosecute the homeowner for failing to properly secure their firearm, despite the fact that they used it for personal protection. Um, and then turn around and say, well, you see, guys, this guy ignored the law and was able to get around it, the inspections, because we didn't have registration. We didn't know he had that particular gun. So, yes, this is not beyond the realm of possibility. And if you put that past gun owners, or excuse me, gun controllers, you don't know gun controllers too well. Just period. So, that in and of itself should be enough to convince you that safe storage laws are a terrible idea. So I'm going to wrap this up right here, folks. You have the comment section to let me know what you think. Share your opinion here too, even if you disagree with me and you think I'm one of those evil, psychotic gun nuts who just won't budge on anything. Yeah, and you're right. On this issue, I'm not going to budge. But yeah, even if you're one of those people who think that I'm just an awful gun extremist or a gun fetishist or whatever, I'm not going to delete your comment. Go ahead and leave it. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Y'all take it easy out there and have a great day.